so that you can learn what you need to bring when you go on your first camping trip. We're pretty experienced, decided to enlighten you tonight, kind of as our civic duty, to give you this information. So the first thing that is essential when camping is alcohol. Really keeps the blood flowing, keeps you warm. Yeah, lightweight. So actually, if you could take a cup and just pass it down, and you can just pour yourself a glass, maybe send half the stack that way, just to keep everybody warm.
Yeah, and you're gonna need a lot of things when you're backpacking. Like, for example, what are you gonna do when you have to go to the bathroom? You're gonna have to dig a hole. You're gonna have to put that shit, so to speak, really deep down. Don't pee near the water sources. So for that, you're gonna need this jacket. And the reason is if the soil is very hard and you can't dig a hole, just bundle it up in your jacket and put it back in your pack and take that with you.
Pack it out.
Yeah, pack it out.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's good. So have a jacket.
Yeah. There are a couple worst case scenarios that you could get into when you're backpacking. One being, say you're hiking in a blizzard. Maybe it's whiteout conditions. I can't speak from experience, but say you're 11 or 12 miles out. Something that's helpful in whiteout conditions are these marshmallows. Really useful to have because you can have positive association with the whiteout conditions by just taking a moment and stuffing your face. Yeah, so you just think about how sweet whiteout conditions can really be. Little sticky situation, but
That's good, good, good. Okay, so navigation. If you need to know how to navigate yourself in a difficult situation, you might use a compass or something like that, or this, which you're going to use by just kind of measuring it out this way, and then if you walk along it, that's about 5 feet. So great. So now you've gone 5 feet, so you know exactly where you are. Okay? And so now you've gone, guess what? Another 5 feet. Good. So math, you know, keep adding, and you'll be fine. Yeah, we'll just add that. That's great. I think you got it right.
You don't even really need a map, actually.
Yeah, no, it's efficient. You know, space, weight. You got it.
A couple other scenarios we just want to give you advice on. Some people like to go out to the woods with a loved one. Maybe it's a romantic outing, get away from the city, get into your tent. But there are some things that you might want to especially pack when you're with that someone special. One of those things is this platypus bag, because when you're sick of hearing them talk, you could just put this in their pack instead of like their water bottle here, actually. And if you just stick it in their pack and you're like, oh look, aren't you thirsty? And you just plug it up. Sick of hearing their voice, silence.
Yeah, coercion.
Problem solved.
Okay, let's see. Let's say you're in the wilderness and there's wildlife, okay? So wolves and bears, moose can actually be surprisingly dangerous. You're gonna need this vibrator. It turns on like this, and what you're gonna use is just sort of, it's like one of those, you know, like dog ears, how they can only hear certain things? Bears and wolves and meese can only hear the sound of female pleasure, or pending female pleasure, so there you go.
So something that I know happens to me a heck of a lot when I hike is I get really bad blisters. Show of hands, anyone else? I know I'm not alone. Great, runs in the fam. Okay, great. So when you have bad blisters, instead of socks, you know they sell those like $20 moisture wicking socks, you can really just wrap your foot in the book, and instead of wearing shoes, you can kind of just like wrap it around, and it really covers up the back of the heel so you don't get those nasty ones on the back of your heel. So if you just wear books instead, yeah, they slide really nicely like snowshoes. Good. Yeah. So like scrap the fancy stuff. Yeah, absolutely.
Good, and you know, planning ahead, it's good to plan, and you want to plan your food, your stoves, all that situation. So if you know, lighters, you know, fuel, you know, and then this plastic watermelon ball, in order to throw it at people who spill the pasta. When you strain the pasta, you might dump the pasta all over, and you're mad at them, and they didn't plan ahead, and so you throw it at their face. Great, that's why I use that.
Yeah, great. We just have a couple more for you. Some other scenarios you might run into in the backcountry is if you forget your sunscreen, you might be having some sunburn and it can peel. So something to do when you have sunburn is to pull out your tarot deck. And you can just do a tarot reading to figure out why the hell you forgot your sunscreen again. So it's like there's a demon in your past, and you're like, oh, that's what did it. So it's not your fault. You kind of can like place the blame elsewhere. Cool the situation out.
Good. So it's important to think clear-headedly about all this, right? I mean, we're experts, but you all might not be. So it's important to bring kind of your intuition, kind of your learnedness, you know, education, smarts. And to that end, you're going to want these sunglasses, because a lot of shows tell you that you look smarter like that, and it'll make you feel more confident and authoritative when you choose all the important decisions of camping.
Absolutely. Yeah, so I think that's it. I think that's all you're going to need for your trip. You're really well equipped. I think you'll be safe in all of those scenarios we just covered, so you're good to go. And if you do forget something, you could always just bring a Sharpie and write it down for next time. Sharpies are also great if you forgot something. Say you forgot your watch, you could really just like draw one on. Or like glasses. If your friends forget their glasses, you can just draw them on them. And Sharpies are also great for like journaling about your feelings and reflecting. So We actually have some pre-made questions up here, and I'm going to hand out some Sharpies to the audience, and if you could just come up and answer some of the questions, and hand me your Sharpie back, and then you can go see Amelia. So come on up if I handed you a Sharpie. And you just answer one or two of these. I'll take your Sharpie and you can go get us more if you want. Anybody else want to go up? Amelia's going to spread the love a little bit, but if you had something on your chair when you first walked in, could you take it in your hand? Everybody needs a rock. Everybody needs a rock. I'm sorry for kids who don't have a rock for a friend. I'm sorry for kids who only have tricycles, bicycles, horses, elephants, goldfish, 3-room playhouses, fire engines, wind-up dragons, and things like that, if they don't have a rock for a friend. That's why I'm giving them my own 10 rules for finding a rock, not just any rock. I mean a special rock that you find yourself and you keep as long as you can, maybe forever. If somebody says, "What's so special about that rock?" don't even tell them. I don't. Nobody is supposed to know what's special about another person's rock. All right, here are the rules. Rule number 1. If you can, go to a mountain made out of nothing but 100 million small, shiny, beautiful, roundish rocks. But if you can't, any place will do. Even an alley, even a sandy road. Rule number 2. When you are looking at rocks, don't let mothers or fathers or sisters or brothers or even best friends talk to you. You should choose a rock when everything is quiet. Don't let dogs bark at you or bees buzz at you. But if they do, don't worry. The worst thing you can do is go rock hunting when you are worried. Rule number 3, bend over. More, even more. You may have to sit on the ground with your head almost touching the earth. You have to look a rock right in the eye. Otherwise, don't blame me if you can't find a good one.
Rule number 4, don't get a rock that is too big. You'll always be sorry. It won't fit right in your hand and it won't fit your pocket. A rock as big as an apple is too big. A rock as big as a horse is much too big. Rule number 5, don't choose a rock that is too small. It will only be easy to lose or a mouse might eat it, thinking that it is the seed. Believe me, that happened to a boy in Arizona. Rule number 6, the size must be perfect. It has to feel easy in your hand when you close your fingers over it. It has to feel jumpy in your pocket when you run. Some people touch a rock 1,000 times a day. There aren't many things that feel as good as a rock, if the rock is perfect. Rule number 7, look for the perfect color. That could be a sort of pinkish gray with bits of silvery shine in it. Some rocks that look brown are really other colors, but only see them when you squint and when the sun is right. Another way to see colors is to dip your rock in a clear mountain stream, if one is passing by. Rule number 8, the shape of the rock is up to you. There is a girl in Alaska who only likes flat rocks. Don't ask me why. I like them lumpy. The thing to remember about shapes is this. Any rock looks good with 100 other rocks around it on a hill. But if your rock is going to be special, it should look good by itself in a bathtub. Rule number 9, always sniff a rock. Rocks have their own smells. Some kids can tell by sniffing whether a rock came from the middle of the earth or from the ocean or from a mountain where the wind and sun touched it every day for 1,000,000 years. You'll find out that grown-ups can't tell these things. Too bad for them. They just can't smell as well as kids can. Rule number 10, don't ask anybody to help you choose. I've seen a lizard pick one rock out of a desert full of rocks and go sit there alone. I've seen a snail pass up 20 rocks and spend all day getting to the one it wanted. You have to make up your own mind. You'll know. All right, that's 10 rules. If you think of any more, then write them down yourself. I'm going out to play a game that takes just me and one rock to play. I happen to have one right here in my hand.
Out from rising tides, from never-ending winters. No palatable water, no real food left, just artificial flavors. But of my love, what's left is centered in the center, and in the middle I'll scream your name out loud. And it'll sound like this coming from my lips, above the trees it reaches. And it'll be a sound that dissipates and penetrates all of your senses. You'll hear something like this, something like this, once in a while, yeah, once in a while. You will go very far. You will do the work at hand. When you're done, you will go home, right where you belong. Well, over all of the mountain ranges, across our bodies of water, I keep drifting back into yeah.